Today we're going to be talking about the 5 factors I think enabled Kylie to be a self-made billionaire at age 23. So these are dependent factors. Like if you take away any of these factors, and this is by me saying this and not taking away anything away from Kylie's accomplishments, which is amazing and that's wonderful, right? However, I think there are 2 schools of people who are feeling some kind of way about her getting that moniker and that getting that crown. The school of thought. Hi, this is JJ Gat. Welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I invite you to like, subscribe, and share this video if you find the content that I'm sharing here is useful. And if you'd like to see more of it. This channel is relatively new reboost of a channel that I've had before, and it's a how-to channel, but I'm going to be mixing alternating between how-to videos and pop culture topics. And actually next week I plan to do a mixture of the two, of pop culture impacts digital content creators. It should be interesting. Anyway, so today with the hot news pop culture topic is Kylie Jenner, who has been deemed by Forbes magazine the first person, the youngest person to reach $1 billion in business self-made. And Forbes has decided to define self-made by meaning that she started her business with no inheritance. So there's a lot of people who are billionaires, but they inherited, like, you know, a good 100 million before they started. Like the president of the United States, for example, had his business, but he inherited some money from his family members, so he's not a self-made millionaire or billionaire. I don't think he's a millionaire, but anyway, that's another story. So anyway, today we're going to be talking about the 5 factors I think enabled Kylie to be a self-made billionaire at age 23. So these are dependent factors. Like if you take away any of these factors, and this is by me saying this and not taking away anything away from Kylie's accomplishments, which is amazing and that's wonderful, right? However, I think there are 2 schools of people who are feeling some kind of way about her getting that moniker and that getting that crown. The school of people who know or aware of people like Oprah, or folks like who started a business being really poor and no one really knowing their name, and they're growing their brand from scratch. And whereas Kylie had resources, she had brand names, she had notoriety from her sister and then her show. She had a lot of things that she started with, the leapfrogger, that gave her some marketing, some presence, some visibility that other fresh startup people don't have. So to call her self-made is really to discount all those things that she came to the table with when she started her business. And the second school of people that are kind of funny are the folks who are like me, who will have various businesses in various different stages of growth, and one thing that's slowing us down is access to capital. And so knowing that she grew a business fast in 3 years, God bless her, but the capital that she had access to capital, a lot of people don't have. And people say, like, you give me $250,000 today, I can take my business maybe not to $1 billion status, but I can take it pretty far without $23,000. And so that the fact that she had that access to capital, not that she didn't earn that access to capital, she did, but that capital is just something that hurts people's feelings. Anyway, so notwithstanding that, she still is the first or the youngest person to reach $1 billion mark. Okay, now here are the 5 dependence of variables that I'm sharing that help contribute to that. And the reason why these are important is because it says something about the digital marketplace. And so this is kind of how pop culture mixes in with digital right here. It says something about the digital marketplace, digital entrepreneurship, and the ability for people who are creators, who are building businesses using online resources, social media, how it's easier and faster for them to really accelerate growth and to scale and to do brilliantly in business, and cutting out a lot of the various different barriers to entries that traditional business have. So here are the 5 factors. Enjoy. Before I do that, and then in case you saw my last video, you know one of the things I said about mobile and recording in your car is the ability to go some places. So right now I'm really sleepy. So before I record the 5 factors, I'm going to get some coffee. Okay, so got my Jolta caffeine ready to go. The first one is Kylie relies on free social media marketing platforms, or essentially free platforms to market. So her marketing budget can be $0. A lot of small micro business or just businesses in general, when they start up and they launch, they have to spend between 7 to 8% of their budget of the revenue on marketing, essentially letting people know their market, the target market, that they have this product available. She's able to bypass all of that and go directly to her consumers by using Snapchat, Instagram stories, Facebook, and other social media platforms. And what we do know, and in terms of, let's go back a little bit to Forbes' definition of self-made being having not inherited any of the money that goes into launching a business. She did in fact inherit the branding and the social media following by starring in a reality TV show, which she had large visibility with massive audiences and giving her a large amount of exposure to get those people on social media that she could then market to. Had she been a regular 17-year-old launching a business and no one knew her from Adam and Eve, and she just says, I'm going to start a lipstick line and I'm going to sell it, she wouldn't have so many followers. But she inherited a business, or exposure and access and ability to be on a reality show from her sister and her sisters and her mom. So that kind of, like, to me, blows a little bit out of parts. You know, self-made is not just cash, it's also resources and revenue in terms, you know, and not revenue, resources and access. So the first thing is social media platforms, and she uses that, and those cost $0. You can, I mean, they do ads on those social media platforms, but she doesn't have to buy ads. And she said in her show, she has a show, The Life of Kylie, on, I think E had it show, I watched some of it, and she said that her budget is $0. Okay, the second factor is that dependent factor to her success, I believe, is her audience. Her market is essentially Gen Z, which is a Generation Z. It's a little bit younger market. And that is compared to her sisters and other people who've been in the business who are social media influencers or celebrities with large followings. A good chunk of Kim Kardashian's and even her sisters' audiences or people who follow her, she has, several millions, maybe over 100 million followers, across various different platforms, don't necessarily aren't her market. Some of them are just curious. Some of them are like men who just want to gawk at her, sometimes seductive, photos. They are interns at media companies. They're just curious folks. They're bots. There's lots of people. So the other people who are following celebrities aren't necessarily the market. They're not people that they can necessarily sell to. Whereas Kylie's market, or Gen Z's, they're active. There's a recent survey or research, I've shared it in the notes below, that says that the market is something $100 billion market. And then those people are young kids, and they have access to their parents' money, and they have their own allowance and money. And so I was going back and forth with a friend of mine's friend who was saying, look how long it took Diddy. Diddy's a mogul, but he still haven't reached $1 billion status himself, and he's been in the business for a long time. And I told her, think about what steps Diddy has to take to get to that $1 billion. First of all, he started as an intern, so he didn't start from like just having a family name. He started, no one knew who he was. He started as an intern, he worked his way in his company. Once he established himself and got a company, got backers, got supporters, got investors, he then had to really hit the pavement. He had to go secure acts, he had to secure A&R, he had to do meetings, he had to shoot videos, he had to listen to beats, he had to work and negotiate. It was a lot of stuff for him, and that's just to make like $1 million. Like, he probably had to take 6 months to 7 months to make his first $1 million. After that, he was able to, use other different sources of income to boost his income with his clothing line and endorsements of Ciroc and things like that. But for the most part, even with all those things he needed to do, there's a lot of steps to take for him to do it, to make $1 million. Whereas in the digital economy, people like Kylie don't have to spend that much time. So, for example, an example I gave in my article that I wrote is that she can get up at 9 o'clock in the morning and have a concept, an idea that her team might have already worked on, and spend 5 hours putting together that perfect Instagram photo of her face, because she's really good with makeup, selfie, and she has the perfect lighting, the perfect angles, perfect shape, and she takes that picture, and it's alluring. And in it, she's wearing this lipstick that's on sale, and she said, this pop color is on sale, or look at all these little colors on sale, swipe up to buy. And you have 117, whatever number is, 171 million people. Even a fraction of those are willing, able, eager young people willing to buy are going to swipe up, and within that seconds of looking at her, swipe up, hit like, and then buy. And that's why she's able to sell out her kits so fast. And then she's earned that $1 million in essentially 5 hours if you just look into the what she actually did. Not necessarily the pre-steps or having to order it, but I just have this stack on. I just wear this lipstick, have the stack of lipstick I have to sell, wear it, and say, you like my lipstick, buy it. And then 174 people buy it. So no wonder she has. But so take away the Gen Z, if her audience wasn't the audience that she had, it wouldn't be the same, because I think that the younger generation are more willing and able and eager to support their faves, whereas I think the little older generation, Generation X, maybe even millennials to a certain extent, are a little more skeptical. Like, they want to maybe try on the lipstick before they buy it. They may want to see it at the store. They may, you know what I mean? And then there's some folks that just don't want to make quick buying decisions. They're more contemplative. They have like bills and other things, so they're not going to make impulse buys as quickly as a young kid can, who really has no responsibilities. Third, Selfie Magic. So Kylie has managed to perfect aspirational content. A lot of what you see on Instagram, but mainly in Pinterest and social media, is people who present a beautiful aspect of life. Maybe their home, maybe food, makeup, definitely. And folks want to acquire that look, be able to whip up the same type of dish or travel to those places. So the people who do well and create these pretty pictures, these type of bloggers or Instagram influencers, are presenting an aspirational part of life. And aspirational meaning, like, it's almost like inspirational, but something you aspire to. And so she has managed to do the perfect selfie. And it started with her, embracing makeup. She said she didn't like the way her lips looked. She admitted that she got some artificial injections, lip plumpers, and I think that's what started her business. So she got the lip plumpers. Little kids wanted to look like her, so they did this challenge where they're sticking these bottles in their lips and their faces came out, and it was kind of like a joke. So she turned that joke into a business. Now, in order for her to make $1 million, this is what she has to do. But let's go back to the Diddy example I mentioned earlier. For Diddy to make his $1 million, this is what he had to do. First, he had to start off with nothing. He had to start off with not having a brand and be an intern, work his way up to a company. When he became somebody in the company, stop making so much noise back there. I now have like a new passenger in my car, and it's shaking because he's back there being impatient. Anyway, so he started off with working his way up, have his own company. Then once he had his own company, he had Secure Acts, Bad Boy Records. He had to negotiate. He had to attend meetings. He had to, develop A&R talent, develop the talent, to have meetings with beats, negotiate beats. He had to do just a lot of stomping for him to earn his first $1 million. It might have taken 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, but it definitely didn't take the short amount of time it takes Kylie to earn $1 million selling like one lip kit. And so that was a lot of things. So I saw people, and I was going back and forth with folks on social media saying, well, folks like Diddy are moguls and they make a lot of money, but they're yet to earn $1 billion in their business, but they have to do a lot. And I compare it to the streaming, like Taylor Swift and folks like Taylor Swift and maybe Demi Lovato and maybe Cardi B and Ariana Grande are able to beat records held by folks we considered icons like Prince and Madonna and Beyonce, or just people who have established and who we consider talented people who have like a deep, rich anthology, but yet they're being surpassed by these young people. The reason why is those young people's, their market is digital. Digital now enables people to buy one single album with just like one click. No longer have to buy like a whole album. Like back in the day, if you wanted to support your favorite artist, you had to actually save your money and you had to go and purchase a $24, $12 LP from the store, and you had to actually take time out of your day and the weekend to travel down there to go get it. Nowadays, these kids can just make a purchasing decision really, really quickly. So that is one comparable difference. And similar in Kylie's situation. So she would say she gets up at 9 o'clock in the morning and her team have already determined, okay, this is the lip kit that we're going to promote. She fixes up her makeup by herself, maybe a little bit of help from her team. And by noon, she has the perfect look. And then she'll create these pictures, a series of photos she takes in her bathroom mirror. And then she'll go through the filters. And by 1 o'clock, she has the perfect picture up. She posts it and she says, swipe up to purchase. And by you know, she posted 1 o'clock. By 2 o'clock, that lip kit is sold out, and she just made $1 million. And she's not the only one. There's a woman named Supacent, who has the crayon case. She did it around Christmas time, and she did again recently Valentine's Day. She made $1 million selling her crayon kit from sales. And so there's you know, Huda Beauty, the Middle Eastern woman. Who else has done it? Pat McGrath Lab. She started the same time as Kylie. She's 53 years old. She's not a young billionaire, but she grew her business from billion. Also taking advantage of digital marketing. And here's where the digital come in play. When I mentioned earlier, there was, you know, social media, which is like cuts out the middleman for marketing, direct marketing. Then you talk about the Generation Z. The Generation Z are used to making purchases digital and don't need to try on something. And then the third factor is the selfie, the aspirational content. Be able to view aspirational content and make purchases based on the aspirational content. That's relatively new to the digital era. So what she's really winning at so far from these first three is the digital game. And so people who are so used to traditional old school, they just can't get with it, and they just have issues with it. Like it's so easy to make money like that, but it's the truth. So that's the third. So let's go to the next two. Fourth is access to capital. There's been a tremendous amount of research, survey marketing research, anecdotal research, studies and reports that say that access to capital is the one driver of success, and the absence of access to capital is what has stopped a lot of people, especially underrepresented groups, from being able to excel, take their ideas from idea stage to market fast. And there are a lot of people, I know I'm one of them, who have various different businesses that we have in various different stages of growth, that if we had a $250,000, $250,000 infusion of cash, we'd be able to do a lot of things with. Maybe not necessarily grow $1 billion business, but we could do a lot of things with that $250,000. And that's what that's when Forbes mentioned that Kylie started with no inheritance money. She started with $250,000 that she earned from modeling gigs. And so we know that before she blew up, the modeling gigs came because she and her sister were exposed on the show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. She's not a Kardashian, but she's a Jenner. So mom, Kris Jenner, used to marry to her dad, Bruce Jenner, who I've yet to mention yet in this video, who is a world-class Olympic U.S. athlete who earned, you know, lots of awards and endorsements and had lots of fame and money before, you know, his wife, you know, for his current wife, or they're divorced now, and he's no longer going as Bruce Jenner, but yeah. Anyway, that's another story. So so she started off with $250,000, but she was able to get those model gigs, exposure to get those gigs, and a lot of them were based on things that she did with her sister, who was actually a real supermodel. And so it was easier to then come as a package deal. So all of that really did come from inheriting exposure from her sister and her mom, and then her other sister being statuesque. And so that is something that's not necessarily earned. She didn't go pitch. She didn't get that. It kind of like was an opportunity that came to her. And so I think that also undercuts Forbes' definition of non-inherited. So she did earn that money, but the opportunity to get that money came from something that she inherited. I think her name and things like that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So she took that $250,000, she turned it to $1 billion. That's all that matters. And it comes back down to access to capital. So she needed the capital to start the business, and that's a big thing that's missing. So I know people could take $250,000 and waste it. So this is where, again, she gets credit, because she took the $50,000. She took advantage of free social media marketing. She took advantage of a Generation Z, generation that's active buyers. She took advantage of being able to have mastered the selfie and aspirational content, and that's where you got the 4 from. And there's one more to go. And finally, branding. So you probably heard the term about branding. It's by now, and if you haven't, essentially it encapsulates not just a logo. When you think about a brand, you think of McDonald's, the golden arches, you think of Starbucks, the little green circle, but the branding is it's like the mission. It's something you expect. It's like a certain level of customer service. It's just a mission, just something all about that one brand that tells you, like Tiffany, you think of the blue box, you think of opulence, you know, you think of, like, you know, nice jewelry. So there's certain things that come with the branding. She had a branding associated with the Kardashian Jenner clan that she just got when she was 10 years old. So when she was born and baby, there was really nothing there. By the time she was 10, her sisters and her mom had already established her brands. Again, this come back to she really you know, she had positive branding, her brand was built on top of an established brand. And you know, anywhere that's easy. So for example, if Honda has one vehicle, let's say they have the Honda Accord, and they were to introduce a new brand of vehicles, that brand is automatically going to be given all of the positive attribution, positive sign, anything that's linked to the quality of the Honda that's already established brand is going to be linked to this new vehicle. And so they don't have to start from scratch like a Kia. When Kia first came to the market, no one knew what that was, or Yugo, which is no longer the Vowels. But those new brands, they have to start from scratch. No one knows who they are, and they really are starting from the bottom. But if you're already an established brand and you just come in and build upon an established brand, it makes it even faster. So that's what Kylie had. A lot of other brands, other companies, other new startups don't have. Like, they have to build and develop a brand. There's a lot of time and effort take. So you can still believe that you can do it, and work hard and try and put yourself out there and charge the most money, and you know, and do all that stuff as part of a growth mindset. But in terms of not ignoring these other factors that are key, are really essential, especially if you're going to grow, you need to know that your market matters, social media matters, access to capital matters, being able to manipulate social media content matters. And then finally, your branding matters. So this, again, is a lesson in all of those. I'm taking a pop culture, popular topic, and relating it to digital businesses. And see how I did that? You like that? That was like kind of slick there. Anyway, so that's it I'll have to say about the subject. It was a pretty long video, longer than I wanted it to be, but I did want to speak to the Kylie Jenner $1 billion self-made topic while it was hot, and then link it into digital content. So thanks for watching. Look for my next video, which I think is going to be really good. I think it's going to be really good. Anyway, so it's Jennifer Gat. JJ Gat. Like, subscribe. See you next time. Oh, share. Bye.